like to try it, but it's not for production yet. And then finally, you have it in the cloud. The same servers you have everywhere. You have the same RAS, you have the same physics, so no difference. So you go in the cloud and you can ensure you have the exact same thing. Now let's look a little bit closer into how to get the credits. With the P10 launch in September, IBM announced also our hybrid capacity credits for power. That means you do not have to buy credits for Power Private Cloud Dynamic Capacity options, and then another set for IBM Power Virtual Servers. You buy one currency and use it wherever you need. And this further testifies how we plan your journey to a frictionless hybrid cloud experience. Let's pause quickly. So we talked about the joint hybrid cloud venture of SAP and IBM. We talked about that in every consumption model you get the same enterprise security, performance and resiliency to scale affordable, provision faster, get faster insights and maximize your uptime. Now we will look more into the consumption model of IBM Power Virtual Server in detail and highlight some of the hybrid cloud solutions you can just consume today. To build a frictionless hybrid cloud, IBM brought the value of the IBM Power Platform into their cloud data centers. That is certainly not sufficient to provide the experience we expect. We certified a large set of HANA t-shirt sizes with SAP, so we can provide you below 1 terabyte and up to 22.5 terabyte SAP HANA productive instances. For the application tier and non-HANA databases, the granular cloud instances based on shared pools can be used. We have also built comprehensive implementation services and automation to architect and deploy SAP HANA-based platforms. Hybrid cloud does not work without bidirectional connectivity, for example, to avoid high costs for moving or accessing data, or to interconnect services, such as we will discuss later in the SAP Cloud Connector part. All of this combines the flexibility, rapid deployment, OPEX, and self-service of public clouds with the performance, security, and reliability of enterprise power servers. So thinking about hybrid cloud, locality is also important because distance always hurts performance. So that's the map basically where our cloud data centers are, and you see different colors. So basically, red are those having already the co-located IBM Power Virtual Servers in. You see in most regions we have already achieved the Power VS footprint, more certainly to come. So the goal is to have within the regions, for example in Frankfurt, we have multiple Power VS data center to allow you to benefit from different availability zones. And then we have a second one that can be used for DR. That's kind of the goal, to provide you globally such an approach so that you have an HA as well as for DR for most of the regions. Now, 2 things in sizing you should know. For on-premise, we have the SAP sizing reports, the HANA Quick Sizer. We as IBM have also tools to help you with that, to come up with a machine mapping. But for cloud, SAP still has this t-shirt sizing approach. So if you would approach a Power VS price t-shirt size based on a subs model you configure yourself, you easily end up with 5 times a higher price. So don't do the same approach on both worlds. You have to use the t-shirt sizes. They are certified. You just pick the one that matches your workload and your memory size. Also, the ecosystem is extremely important. So looking what we have achieved in a year, I just listed some of the highlights I liked. So we have the Ansible system roles from Red Hat, part of the distro. It's a hardened automation. We have also a Red Hat sponsored GitHub repository where you can use their automation based on Ansible. And we know how to deploy sub software in Red Hat OpenShift. So all the non-production NetWeaver, HANA S4 instances you can already containerize by that. Then from SUSE, we have similar automation for HA, for OS hardening, also pre-hardened partially. And then we have our own assets provided by lab-based services, managed services. We have migration services, automation for infrastructure and software. We have comprehensive solutions pre-built, which provide you a very large landscape aspects. And we have GBF services with and without RISE, of course. We just saw it on the very first slide. We are just in September, the RISE with SAP breakthrough was announced. Then we have also in the wider ecosystem partners. So the SAP Business Technology Platform have connectors ported to Power and Power VS. So Mark Stefan will talk about that a little bit more in detail. We have all these SAP certifications done with them. We have also other vendors for the DR automation, and we have the IBM Cloud Paks, of course. Then look into the list of hybrid cloud solutions I would like to highlight today. So we'll talk about 5 things: the connectivity, the DR options, automation sample, how to integrate IBM Watson services. We had this on the second slide where we talked about integration domain, kind of a chatbot, but also other Watson services are applicable. And then also, then at the end, look in how you connect your HANA on Power to any SAP Business Technology Platform. Hybrid requires interconnectivity to let services talk, data move, and people connect. One hybrid scenario is to connect the IBM Cloud to IBM Power virtual instances. For example, this allows you to consume Intel server-based services from IBM Cloud. Given the importance, you see that we constantly improve the interconnect the more use cases come. The other one is to connect from the outside. This can come from your on-premises data center or from another cloud. Depending on your use case, we can provide you different options from free of charge to multiple direct links of 10 gig speeds. Direct links are, for example, required to deploy synchronous HANA system replication between 2 availability zones. In between, we have also, for example, a VPN as a service option for smaller companies or different use cases. To give you also a second example, I heard from a customer, they use the IBM Cloud for their front ends and have the back end on Power Virtual Server. So the only outside connection for end users is by that the one into the IBM Cloud. Now look into the DR option we have. Important to me was that you have a choice. And having a choice means first you can do DR, because many customers don't have a third data center for DR. They often have not even a second one. So Power VS provides you a locality for that. The second one is that you have options. And I will talk a little bit about the options now. Each customer certainly has different needs for DR. They might come in, we just need something. So we can approach them with, you have Power VS, you don't have to buy additional hardware, no additional data center. You can run HANA cost optimize and manage everything yourself. In case of a DR, you just spin it up. That's a customer sample I wanted to show you. So it's a global company, and they wanted to have a reliable and redundant off-premise DR power solution where they have an RTO RPO of 8 and near 0. Basically, the approach we did is we combined the very skinny approach for DR, but managed it together with GDS, so now Kyndryl, so that they manage in case of DR everything. So the spin up of the IX app servers and then blowing up the instance, the tiny instance, to a full productive instance. And this is certainly the very high end. You have an HA pair on your primary side. This can be Power VS or on-premise. You have the full stack as standardized as ever. You have built automation around that to spin it up quickly. We are coming to that a little bit later. And then you have the DR. The DR side, you can certainly use Power Virtual Server to avoid having a third side. So basically what you can do is using HANA system replication for the DR failover. You can manage all of this manual in case of